here with another Vikings WarOfClans video. So in this video, we're going to be doing a little bit different. We're not really going to be talking about anything specific in the game, but we're going to be talking about the whole Asgard experience. And yeah, I want to talk about it a little bit more and explain my perspective of it. So I'm pretty sure most of you might have seen Negan's video. So Negan made a video talking about Asgard, how I wouldn't say it was in defense of Rhett, but just the entire dynamic of Asgard, how it is, his perspective of it, what he thinks about it, and just in general addressing the whole Asgard situation from a big clan's perspective. And in his video, he mentioned other clans that are smaller that could hold up in Asgard. There's clans that are bigger that can't really hold up in Asgard. So there's a dynamic of players within the game that are different sizes. Some of them can, participate actively in Asgard. Some of them can't. At the end of the day, I think something that's very clear for all of us is to do better in this game. The most important factor is the amount of money that you're willing to spend. Okay, regardless of anything else, if you are the best player and don't have any troops, you cannot perform or outperform a better clan or a worse clan, even a worse clan that has more troops than you. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to troops. And if we want to associate it very directly, troops are associated to money. So the amount of money that you're willing to spend on the game equals to the amount of troops that you're going to have. And, in the end, that equals to how you perform in the events. So that is very true. The game is essentially designed for the bigger clans. The big spenders, people that are willing to spend lots of money in the game, essentially max things when the updates drop. Just be ready. There's clans that they're massive, right? The top 10 clans are pretty big compared to, multiple other clans that we're talking about. There's probably like, I don't know, 8,000 clans at the very least that are competing in events. There's a lot of clans that are competing in events. I'm not talking about Asgard in specific, but there's a lot of clans that are formed. Every kingdom has at least 100 clans that are there. Anyway, regardless, there's a lot of clans. Asgard, as we know, only has a limited number of towers. So there's no way that everyone is going to be able to participate in Asgard. There's no way that everyone's going to have access to the towers. And there's no way that everyone's going to constantly be holding the towers. Regardless of how many towers Plarium adds to the game, that issue is not going to go away, okay? There's a lot of clans, there's very limited towers, and there's competition. But here's my fundamental issue with Asgard in itself. So the way that I thought Asgard would work was, as with every other event, the bigger clans get to participate, I guess, separately from the other clans. But the way that they designed Asgard was essentially Asgard's going to be just like Jot, but you're going to have multiple towers. Center tower gives you more point. And here's my fundamental problem with Asgard in general. The center tower giving you more points does not mean that that center tower is guarded. Like, we've pushed multiple times to the middle only to see that there's T7, hero double T7s in the center tower at some point, because they're so chill about it. Like, the bigger clans are so fine with it that they don't really care about the bigger center tower, because when the other people that are around you aren't hitting you, there's no reason to worry about it. You're just holding it to get more points, and then you rotate it, someone else takes it, they gets the point. Anyway, this is something that I predicted when the event was being discussed. So before the event even went live, this is something that I said. I was like, bigger clans are going to divide, they're going to conquer, they're going to take all the thrones, and then the smaller ones will be fighting their way through to try to get whatever points they can and, do their bit. Now, Negan said something very interesting. He said that the smaller players, if they are a very good clan, a small clan can get enough towers or enough points to do well in the event. It is a very valid point. If you are in a very, properly oriented clan, you can do this. The one thing that Negan, fails to address is how much it costs. So comparing the amount of points that Rhett puts forward versus the amount of points that Again, I'm using Ret as an example. This is no dig or no shot at them. They're a good clan. They're a big clan. They're spending. They're working on their game, so it's good for them. I mean, the power to them. I'm just giving it as an example. The amount of troops that Ret spends versus the amount of troops that a smaller clan, condensed clan spends, is different to consider because Ret has 100 players that can contribute. Let's say 50 of them show up for Asgard just for towers. 50 of them can contribute. But a smaller clan has like 3, 4, maybe 5. If it's a very good clan, it has 9 good condensed players that can contribute. And those 9 players have limited amount of troops because in order for them to be competitive in every other event, they have to stay smaller to some degree. And they don't you don't want an event where you spend 80% of your troops to finish an event. Now with Asgard, in most cases you don't do that, except if you're talking about T8s, where sometimes you spend 100% of your T8s. You end up attacking towers with T6 or T7, get more shards, make more T8s, and lose them. I mean, that's how my Asgards have gone. I would have to train multiple times in Asgard if we were doing very good in towers or we're trying to keep them and we're getting hit. Now, again, I have no problem with the bigger clans not spending as much because obviously they have more players. They don't need to spend as much. The thing that I have a problem with is bigger clans assigning other clans to specific towers. And I think this is bad for the bigger clans themselves because they need to minimize the amount of influence that they're trying to cover. Like, there's a lot of towers around the map. Let's say you take 20 of them, you assign them to people you want to ally with. Even if you can only ally with one clan, you could still have unwritten allies or allies that aren't necessarily in your clan, as long as it's within the game rules. You're not trying to go against the game rules. You could still talk about it and do whatever you want. But let's say a clan like mine hits another clan and gets messages, oh, Ret told us we can hold this tower. That's the point that I don't agree with this thing. I mean, the power to them, right? They can do whatever. They can kick us, and they will. Eventually, if we hold that tower and Ret starts messaging us, if you don't hit this, if you don't leave this tower, we're going to kick you. Like, sure, they can do that. But that ruins the game for everyone else, right? That's the thing that I don't agree with. They have the power to do it. They can do it. But that ruins the game, and Plarium is enabling it. And what does this do? So there's multiple small clans, and Ret is essentially telling these small clans they can hold towers. And just because you're hitting a tower that a small clan can't defend on its own, and they're allied with Ret's going to hit you and kick you out of it. Eventually, you're going to run out of troops. You're not going to score as much because the opponents that you were supposed to fight aren't necessarily your opponent, because your opponent is the bigger clan that you're fighting. Again, I keep mentioning Ret. That's not my point. There's other bigger clans that are doing the same thing. And, lastly, when the bigger clans aren't hitting themselves, they're not hitting each other, right? There's certain towers of, don't hit this, I won't hit you. Don't hit this, I won't hit you. And this whole dynamic continues around. Let's say there's 10 clans. That's 40 towers gone in Asgard, right? If they're all holding 4, it doesn't happen really. But if they're all holding 4, that's what happens, is no one's going to hit them. They're proceeding to the level 1s. And this is the thing that really pisses me off. There were 6 level 1s that, for the duration of Asgard, I would say, were constantly being hit. And bigger clans can't hold a 5th tower. They can only hold 4. So the 5th tower, they just bounce on. They attack, they get the kill points. They don't even have to defend it to, defense is extremely weird because you're super weak compared to your offense. So you can hit an offense, destroy everyone, but on the defense, you'll get demolished. Unless you're going in with a defense hit, which on the offense you would suck. But anyway, you hit the offense and you bounce off, and some other clan has to go in with defense. They get wrecked because there's nothing for them to kill. And that just, destroys the whole Asgard thing. If a clan is holding 4 towers, and this is my perspective on how Asgard could be improved, if a clan is holding 4 towers, they should not be able to hold or attack a 5th tower. And if Plarium does this, it will remove the whole idea of, okay, I go for my 4 towers, no one's going to hit me, and I start going around hitting the other level 1 towers, kicking them out, I can't take them, it's fine. But I kick them out, I take their troops, and just make it difficult for everyone else who has to go for the level 1 towers, because there's no way they're going to go in the middle. The middle ones aren't hitting each other, and they will hit you out if you go for those towers. So you're avoiding them. You're trying to go for the side corner pieces, level 1s, and you just get kicked by them. And I think Plarium really needs to work on something to make that better. If a clan wants to hit level 1 towers to get their T6 kills, their shards, whatever it is they want to do, they shouldn't be able to hold 4 towers and do it on top of that. That just does not make any sense to me. And, you know, as someone that's been on the receiving end of this, it annoys the crap out of me because, you know, you're onslaughting a tower, there's no troops inside, immediately on the defense you get wrecked because whatever onslaught that it's hitting you is just having that offense bonus. And you just have to recall, go again, once again, there's nothing inside because every other big clan is also attacking this tower. None of them are holding it, and they just bounce. But yeah, this is, I guess, my version of the rant on it. I think Asgard is fine the way it is. I just think that the one thing that Plarium needs to fix is remove the whole idea of towers being, you know, if you have 4 towers, that's it. That's your Asgard. You can't go any further than that. And I know there's a lot of players in bigger clans, but if you're trying to make this a whole, you know, event where everyone is able to participate, someone has to give something up. We as the smaller players or the smaller clans are willing to give up the, you know, the ability to hold the center towers. The bigger clans need to be willing, or, you know, take it away. They don't even need to be willing. They're getting the better end of the deal. They don't even have to waste troops to hold their towers half the time. No one hits them anyway. But remove the option of hitting a 4 tower if you have 4 towers. If you have 4 towers, you cannot onslaught any other tower. If you want to onslaught another tower, you abandon your 4th tower. That's it. It's as easy as that. There's a lot of solutions that I can think of that will make Asgard much more, you know, less complicated for the smaller clans and much more easier for everyone to participate. But I like the way it is. I like to be able to fight versus other clans that I wouldn't normally match up with, you know, in non-special events, I would call them, I guess, like non-Fury, non-Jot, non-Asgard. I wouldn't really go up against those clans, so it's nice to, you know, have the option to fight against them. But I just don't like the option of, you know, I just don't like to see the towers go to waste. There's 6 towers that no one's being able to hold because the bigger clans, they're just putting troops in the middle ones, and they have to onslaught those because they need the shards. They need to finish their checkpoints. It makes a lot of sense, right? Because they're in the middle. No one else is going to hit the middle because no one else, you know, they've made all these alliances and agreements not to hit each other. No one else is going to give them the checkpoints. They need to find another way to get the checkpoints, and their way is to go and attack those level 1s. And because they keep those constant onslaughts on them, there's no way for any other clan to essentially wipe them off, right? There's no way. You can't go in and take those towers for too long because as soon as you send something in, the onslaughts are just going to hit you. And I think that's the reason that I'm mostly frustrated with Asgard. It's not so much about the towers for me. It's just the option of they already have their 4. They're good. They're set. They're going to get their Asgard medals. They're going to get everything else. They're not going to get anything else from kicking everyone else out. And that's just the thing that really annoys me. It's like they get the good of Asgard. They also get the better. And we're just there sitting like, okay, maybe next time I need to, you know, talk to some of the big clans and find something that works for me instead of like, well, the big clans are doing their own thing. I'm going to do my own thing and, you know, fight the people that are relatively my size, probably bigger than me, most of them. But, you know, fight my way through Asgard, get my medals, get my things. And, you know, if it's too bad for them, don't hold 4 towers. Hold 3 towers and use your 4th one to onslaught the towers, right? You can have 3 towers and 4 onslaughts. The 4th one, you could onslaught whatever tower. That's fine. But at least you're getting 3 towers. You're not getting all 4. So that's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. And yeah, I guess that's my rant on the whole Asgard situation. I really like the way Asgard is, by the way. I enjoy the way Asgard's set up. And now they've made it much easier by making the first few checkpoints you know, more attainable for smaller clans. And if you just, like, I found out that if I just hit the tower with T6 onslaughts even, and I'm taking the tower for a couple seconds, it adds up. It adds up to a lot of time eventually. So It's not impossible. It's not the end of the world. Everyone can do it. It just takes some time. It takes some troops, obviously, but you could even solo Asgard right now. Like, it's that easy. You don't have to even go for a ranking. You could solo and get a couple few checkpoints at the start. You can easily get yourself a town skin, a hero skin, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know I haven't posted in a very long time, and I just wanted to get this off my chest. Again, this is no dig at Rhett or Negan. The video was very informative. It was well, made. He did have very good, valid points, but there's also some sort of, he said himself that he's biased, and it's difficult for him to see our perspective because we are on the receiving end of, the torment that we're getting from Rhett and other bigger clans. But yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.